A very good morning to all the students for the today's session. So before I proceed with the today's session, just I wanted to revise what we have discussed in the previous presentation. So in the previous presentation, we have discussed in the last three sessions in connection with the shaper, the working principle of shaper, and the different mechanisms used, shaper operations, etc. in detail with the sketches. So we need to understand that before we start with the today's session, what is the basic difference between the shaper and the planer, because in a shaper the cutting tool is made to move and the workpiece is stationary. Okay, try to listen properly here. The workpiece is stationary and the cutting tool is made to move, and the cutting tool used is the single point cutting tool. And the working principle in case of a planer, it is exactly difference. The cutting tool is stationary and the workpiece is rotated. So this is the basic difference in the working principle of a shaper and planer. And not only that, the planers are more preferable for the purpose of machining of the large workpieces and heavy workpieces, and especially the workpieces like which can be having the application as the machine table or the work table of larger machines, where you are going to see very clearly that we need to produce the T slots on the surface of the table for providing the proper clamping arrangement for the workpiece to be held over it. So for that purpose, the planers are definitely larger, and whatever the size of the single point cutting tool used for the machining of flat workpieces is also a very large one compared to the shaper. So this is the basic working principle difference between the two, and then we shall proceed with the introduction to planer in the today's session, classification of planers, working of double housing or standard planer, and its construction and working in brief about how it can be used for the purpose of planing operation. So as you are going to see on the screen clearly there, the planing is an operation that is performed similar to that of a shaper. There is no much difference, because the shapers are also used for the purpose of machining all the surfaces of the prismatic or the flat workpieces, which we have discussed in length. Even especially the keyways can be produced on the cylindrical shafts. The only difference is that a planer is specially designed for planing large work. Just I have discussed about that, whereas a shaper can machine only a small work. If at all we want to go for the machining of small workpieces, then we are going to take the shaper as a machine for preference compared to the planer. The common types of work machined in a planer are basis and table of all kinds of machine tools. So whatever the machine tools that you are going to find, that means, for example, the tables which are used on milling machines, which are used on drilling machines, or which are used on grinding machines, etc. So in all these machine work tables are being produced, okay, with the help of a planer machine only, because they are very large in size. So hence it is necessary to machine those flat surfaces by using the planer only. Large structure, frames of different engines, and identical pieces of work which may be small in size but large in number. So in some cases the planers can also be used for the purpose of mass production of identical jobs. Okay, that is what he's telling here. So that means this is the basic concept where the planer machines are preferable compared to the shapers. So now, as you are going to see very clearly here on a screen, this is the structure of a working principle which we are discussing. Now we have discussed that the workpiece along with the table is made to move and the cutting tool is stationary. So as you are going to see, the table on which the work is clamped, the table on which the work is clamped is imparted a reciprocating movement. So now you are going to see on the screen clearly here the working principle. So this is also a working principle sketch, and this is also a working principle sketch. So whatever you are going to see here in this direction, now in this direction, if you see, this is the sketch. So now you are going to see that the depth of cut is given by the tool only, but the moment is given to the workpiece which is mounted on the machine table of a planer, and the tool is given a feed in this direction, so every time. So that is why what you are going to see here, the depth of cut, okay, the workpiece is reciprocated, and the machining operation is done as usual how it is done in case of a shaper only. So again, we require to design the driving mechanism which can drive the table of the planer by using the quick return motion mechanism, which we have discussed in the shapers also. Because our design, whatever the mechanism is there which is used for driving the work table of a planer, should be done in such a way that it should provide slow reciprocating movement during the cutting stroke or the forward stroke, and it has to return very quickly. So this mechanism is achievable, and this is called as a quick return motion mechanism. Cutting takes place during the forward stroke of the table. Whenever, that means the workpiece which is clamped firmly on the work table of a planer is given a reciprocating movement, and the cutting is carried out during the forward stroke only. During the return stroke, the cutting tool is slightly lifted. So here, as you are going to see on the screen, so when the cutting starts, it will just touch the workpiece. Then after that, it has to be lifted up so that it is possible to see that the return stroke takes place very smoothly there. Okay, tool is fed for each forward stroke. So whenever the forward stroke starts, at that time the tool is given the feeding, means how much amount of, this is called as the feeding, which is given for the cutting tool, how much amount of material is to be removed. Now let us understand about the classification of planers. How we are going to classify the planers? The classification of the planers include, there are 5 different types of planers, planing machines, being classified based on their design, construction and application. In brief, the first one is a double housing planer. So as you are going to see that the double housing planer is the most commonly used type of a planer. Sometimes it is also called as a standard planer, which is widely used. And open side planer, pit planer, edge planer and divided table planer. So we are going to discuss in brief with their working principle with the sketch in the subsequent presentations. So we need to understand here that the double housing planer is the most commonly used type of planer compared to the other types of planers. The reason is the other types of planers are designed for certain specific applications. That is very, very important here. So now let us understand how the working of the standard planer is going to take place with the construction. It is a standard model and most widely used. It is a very standard model and the most widely used in workshops and industries, especially in industries. It is very heavy and robust. The main construction, the main application of this type of planer is considered because it is basically, it can be used for the planing operation of heavy workpieces, because basically it is, the machine itself is very robust, means very strong in construction, has a bed and 2 vertical housings are fixed. So again, I wanted to make it slightly big for better understanding of the structure here. So here you are going to see these are called as the columns with the elevating screw provided
for giving the movement to the cross rail, and this is called as a cross beam, and all these are called as the tool heads which are mounted over the different faces. So you are going to have the tool head on the left side and the tool head on the right side of the column, and along with that you are also going to have one tool head on the cross rail which can be made to move in either direction like this, which I have indicated, and the feeding is given in this way with the help of a single point cutting tool. Similarly, the feeding is also given like this for these tools which are mounted over the columns. So as you are going to see, the bed is going to form as heavy cast iron castings which is having the guideways for giving the movement to the work table. Okay, the reciprocation moment is given to the work table, and whatever the mechanism is there, that mechanism is below the bed only, which can drive the work table of a planer. So table moves along the guideways of the bed. Housing supports the cross rail and the tool heads. Cross rail carries two tool heads. Actually, in the figure we have shown only one. So in reality, it's not having one more will be there as a tool head. So totally you'll be having around 4 tool heads, so that the operation can be done very quickly, especially for the large workpieces. So that is the main intention of the application of a standard planer. So let us understand again in detail in connection with the working of double housing planer. It consists of a long heavy base or bed having accurately machined guideways on which a table reciprocates. So the very important concept is the bed is considered as the main supporting element in all the machines. So like that, similarly the same concept is also applied for the planers, and the top surface of the bed is provided with the your different types of guideways sections which we have discussed, especially the friction, especially the dovetail friction guideways, which we have already which you are going to see especially on the lathe bed guideways surfaces. Bed length is twice the length of the table. This is also one of the most important design or the construction. The care is to be taken that the length of the bed should be larger than the length of the table. So that is approximately twice. For example, if the length of the table is say about 3 meters, then 6 meters is the bed length. So this is how the construction is there, because the bed is going to provide, as bed is going to act like a guideway for giving the movement for the work table. For that purpose, 2 vertical housings are mounted on either side at the middle of the bed carrying tool heads. So we know one important thing here, that 2 vertical columns which you are going to see here. So these are called as the 2 vertical columns. 2 vertical columns are there which are provided with the tool heads and also with the cross rail, and these columns are rigidly held with the help of a cross beam. This cross beam is going to hold these columns firmly, and these columns are also located exactly at the middle of the bed portion, not at the front, exactly at the middle of the bed portion. The columns are connected across beam at the top of the column, which I have explained just now. The horizontal cross rail carries 2 tool heads which slide horizontally. Okay, the cross rail also moves or slides vertically along the column ways. The tool heads carrying the single point cutting tools are moved manually or power in crosswise or vertical direction to give the feed. The workpiece to be machined is held firmly on the workpiece. Mechanical or hydraulic devices are used to drive the planer table. So we need to understand here the concept very clearly, that we are going to first hold the required workpiece over the work table. Over the work table it is clamped firmly and the table is made to move, and the feeding is given with the help of cutting tools which are mounted on different tool heads like this, so the surfaces can be machined at ease without any difficulty. So that is the main concept here. So now let us understand if you are going to see clearly the screen here, so here we have shown in 2 and 3 dimensional view for better understanding of the construction of the machine. So here you are going to see very clearly the 2 tool heads, and the same 2 tool heads are here, and these are the tool heads which are mounted on the columns. So these are the tool heads which you are going to see. This table is also shown here, this table is shown, and this is the bed, and this is the bed which you are going to see practically. You are going to see that the length of the bed is extended from here to here. It has come to the end. That means almost it is double of the length of the table. So this is how the construction of the double housing planer is. Okay, so now let us understand in detail about with the work material, with the function of individual part of a double housing planer. We are going to start with, there are 6 important parts starting with the bed, table, tool heads, cross rail, columns, and the feed mechanisms. Okay, bed is made of a box shaped casting. As you are going to see clearly, it is a box type casting which is generally made of a cast iron, because we know that cast iron is a material which can sustain more amount of compressive strength, and it is strong and rigid. The length of the bed is twice that of the table. Always the care is taken to see that the length of the bed is double the dimension of the work table. V-guide ways are made on the bed. The bed is provided with the V-guide ways for giving the movement to the work table. Cross ribs are provided in the bed to increase its strength. The cross ribs are there, which were not shown here actually in the figure, to increase the strength of the bed, because whatever the load is there, the load is to be taken completely, whatever the entire load is coming directly on the bed itself of a planer. For that purpose, it has to be designed very strongly. The next one coming is, on the bed there is a mounting of the table which is made to move continuously. Table is also a box shaped casting, means basically of a flat shape, which moves on the guideways of the bed, also called as platen. Okay, sometimes it is also called as a platen, the name of that. The top surface of the table has T-slots. See, one more important thing is there. The bed is provided with the V guideways, and the top of the bed is provided with the T-slots for holding the workpiece firmly on its top surface. Work is clamped on the T-slots. T-slots are made on the table to hold the workpiece. The main intention of providing the T-slots is to hold the workpiece firmly on a table. Okay, so the next one part coming is housing or column, as you are going to see on the screen here. So there are two housings. There are two housings which are there. These are called as the housings. So these housings are going to have the guideways at its fronts for giving the movement to the cross rail, and this cross rail can be clamped at the required position depending upon the height of the workpiece to be machined, and also it provides the movement for the side tool heads. So this is the main function of the column, and these columns are provided exactly at the middle of the bed. That is what we are discussing. Column is a part with guideways. Columns are mounted on both sides of the bed. The two columns are connected at the top by a cross beam. This cross beam, just it is missing here, but in reality it is there actually. This is a cross beam would be coming like this, which is going to connect firmly the two columns so that there should not be any vibrations while the machining operation is being carried out. Cross rail slides on the guideways of the column, because the column is provided with the guideways. On this only the movement of the cross rail takes place. This part that is called as a cross rail, which can be clamped and moved at the required position on the housing or the column itself. Feed mechanism and power transmission links are provided at the end of the column. So this is very, very important, which we are not going to see here clearly. The feed mechanism is given, which is provided at the end of the column. Okay, and feeding of the table, remember, is done with the help of a mechanism which is provided below this, that is inside the bed itself, which we are discussing in the subsequent presentations. And let us understand what is the function of a cross rail now. What is the function of this cross rail? Cross rail connects the two columns. As you are going to see clearly, it is going to connect the two columns. It can be clamped on any place of the column. The cross rail carries vertical tool heads. So these are called as a vertical tool heads in order to give the feeding of the single point cutting tool with the help of a cross rail screw, which you are going to see on the screen there. That is the main purpose of using the cross rail. This is moved up and down by elevating screw. Okay, that is very, very important. The cross rail is made to move up and down with the help of an elevating screws are there in the housings, which can be clamped at the required position. Next one coming is a tool head. So we know one important thing, that whether it is the shaper machine or whether it is a planer machine, the main function of the tool head is to carry the cutting tool. Okay, and also it can be used for the purpose of giving feeding movement or depth of cut for the cutting tool. The tool head, the main function of the tool head is to carry the cutting tool. Generally 4 tool heads are fixed on the planer. You are going to see very clearly there, because there are 4 tool heads. So these are called as the side tool heads, and these are called as the tool heads which are mounted for giving the movement down, and these are the tool heads which are responsible for giving the movement, so that whatever the workpiece that is hold firmly here can have the different surfaces being machined at a time. That is the main purpose. Double housing planer table is driven by a quick return mechanism. It is used for machining heavy and large castings. That we know about that. During return stroke, cutting tool will be lifted. The tool heads can be swiveled through 60 degrees on either side of the vertical position. So one more advantage is there here. So whatever the tool heads which you are going to see, you are going to see now straight like this, but they can be swiveled at any angle like this. So that provision is there on a tool head, so that it is possible to go for the angular surface planing operation. Okay, that is the main purpose of giving some inclination to the tools which are provided on a tool head. The entire tool head it itself can be swiveled at the required angle. So now we need to understand, still now we have discussed about the construction and working of a double housing planer. Now we need to understand in brief about the other types of planers which are used for some specific job applications. So the first one coming is called as an open side planer. So as you are going to see there, this is called as an open side planer because you are going to see the column only on one side, and on one side it is totally open. This portion is totally open. So this can give a provision of holding a larger workpiece. That is the main plus point. Okay, so as you are going to see, it has only one supporting column, or the housing area larger than the table can be planed. Cross rail is mounted as a cantilever. So as you are going to see, this is called as a cross rail, which can be also clamped at the required position on this column. But that is why on one side it is fixed, on the other side it is free. That is why it is called as a cantilever. Okay, tool holders are mounted on the cross rail. Stroke length of the bed is controlled by adjustable docks. So these docks are nothing but they are also called as a trip docks, which are provided to give in order to adjust the length of the stroke of the table. They are being provided on the bed, so that when the table goes and strikes, it will stop there, and the next operation stroke takes place. So that is how the main function of the trip dog is there. Now let us understand the next type of a planer, that is called as a pit type of planer. So in a pit means what? The one which is provided, the hollow portion which is provided below the ground is called as a pit. So this is entire portion you are going to see nothing but a ground itself. Okay, observe carefully here, as you are going to see on the sketch. This is called as a ground. So it is as good as an underground operation. So in this, till this surface, okay, the hollow portion is created below the ground, and the workpiece, the table which you are going to see, to the level of the ground itself. So such a workpiece, such a machine is to be fixed at the required position, and there is no question of changing the planer. So that is why the name has come as a pit type planer, and even this can be used for a larger planing operations. Okay, columns and cross rail carrying tool head move longitudinally on massive rail above the work table. This is very, very important. Bed is recessed in the floor. Recessed in the floor means what? The bed is provided within the floor itself. Loading and unloading of the job is easy, because here the loading of the workpiece is easy because this much portion will be inside the ground only. It is provided below the ground only. So this surface will be the surface of the floor on which an operator can work for that purpose. Okay, that is the main idea here. Used for planing heavy and large jobs. For example, if at all we want to go for a very heavy and large jobs, because here what is happening here, it is directly provided, the base is provided on the underground itself, so that it is possible to go for better supporting. That is the main idea here. Table and workpiece resting on it are stationary, and the tool reciprocates. Okay, here exactly it is reverse. Try to understand now. The table and workpiece resting on it are stationary, and tool reciprocates. It is as good as a part like a shaper. So here we require to give the moment to the tool only. The moment is given directly to the tool itself. That is the main working principle of a pit type planer. Okay, now let us understand edge or plate type of planer. See here now clearly the edge or the plate type of planer, for what purpose it is used. So this is called as a workpiece. This is a workpiece which you are going to see here. This is a workpiece which is held on the base, and this is called as a carriage. The operator is standing here, and this is the tool. Suppose if at all I want to have a workpiece, this is your workpiece, I want to cut for surfaces like this, surfaces. So this is called as a beveled surface. So whenever I want to go for the beveled machining surfaces, then I am going to prefer the edge or plate planer. So such type of planers are used especially for machining or planing beveled surfaces on the steel plates, especially which are used in the boilers. Okay, so specially designed for squaring or beveling the edges of heavy steel plates for pressure vessels. They are also called as a pressure vessels. So this is a plate which you are going to see there, which is held firmly on the base. Okay, and this tool is made to move along with the carriage, and the operator will be standing here to operate the machine itself. Okay, carriage supporting the tool is moved back and front direction. Cutting can take place during both the directions of the carriage travel. The carriage is made to move, and the machining is done in both the ways, whether it is cutting stroke or return stroke. Operator stands on the platform and operates. So as you are going to see there, the operator is going to stand here, and he is going to operate the machine. So such type of planer is used basically for the production of the planing of the pressure vessels. So one more, that is the last type of a planer which is commonly used, is called as a divided table planer. So whenever the divided table planer means what? Till now we have discussed that in a planer there is only a single table is there, but instead of that we can go for the design in such a way that we can have two tables. So one table which is provided with the workpiece in a ready condition to be machined, and one already the machining process which is being carried out. So the design and construction remains same there. So now you are going to see here, just I have made it larger. So table 1 is there to the left side, and table 2 to the right side. So the table 1 is here and the table 2 is here. So as you are going to see on the screen, now the operation suppose is going to take place here, and this will be ready for which is at rest. So no operation is being done here. So in this table no operation is there, but the workpiece is in a ready condition to be machined. Okay, and the reciprocating with the work. So here you are going to have the workpiece being machined. So what is going to happen here is, the main advantage of using two tables is the production rate can be increased, because you are going to design the planer in such a way that it is possible to go for the mass production very quickly. Also known as a tandem planer. Planer has two tables on the bed. Table may be reciprocated together or separately depending upon the requirement. Either we can reciprocate both the tables or only one table depending upon the requirement. For continuous, each table reciprocates under different tool heads. For continuous production, small workpieces clamped on one table are being machined, another is stationary and can be used for setting up fresh works. So this is the plus point. Now, especially for the mass production of the same type of job, okay, it is possible to use both the tables or either of them table continuously for the production very quickly. That is the main plus point of this divided table planer, and used for quick and continuous production. Continuous production, small and mass production of identical jobs can be done very quickly, as the design itself is in such a way that it is possible to see that the machines, the more number of workpieces are machined in a very small time. So this is the actual construction of a planer machine, how it looks. So as you are going to see, these are called as the columns. So these are called as the columns, and this is called as a cross rail. This is the tool head. There is a single tool head shown, but in reality it's going to have two tool heads. And here you are also going to see the table, and this is the bed. This is the general. So the bed is provided with the V guideways, and this is as we are going to see the slots here. These are called as the slots which are provided on the table, and the tool head can be made to move in this way also and in this way also. That is the main plus point. And also you are going to see the mechanism for driving this work table of a planer. Okay, this is how the planer looks like. Okay, so now I think that completes the today's session, and along with this I am also going to attach one important video along with this. So just see, so that for better understanding of the operation of a planer. So we require to understand here in the today's session, explain the working of a planer with a neat sketch, and enlist the different types of planers are the expected questions in the examinations. Okay, with this I am going to finish off the today's presentation.
प्लेनर मशीन किन किन पार्ट्स की बनी होती है और वो पार्ट्स क्या क्या काम करते हैं, आज उसके बारे में डिस्कस करेंगे। तो सबसे पहले इसके मेन पार्ट्स हम देख लेते हैं। सबसे नीचे होता है बेड, जो एक बेस पे टिका होता है, या फिर हम डायरेक्टली इसको कंक्रीट के ऊपर भी, जो अपना फ्लोर होता है वर्कशॉप का, उसके ऊपर डायरेक्टली इस बेड को रख सकते हैं। एक तरह का बेस ही होता है बेड। इसके दोनों तरफ होती हैं कॉलम्स, आप इनको हाउसिंग भी बोल सकते हैं। इन हाउसिंग के अंदर हमारा जो भी ड्राइविंग मैकेनिज्म होगा, चाहे वो पुली से रिलेटेड हो, चाहे वो गियर से रिलेटेड हो, मोटर हो, तो सारा कुछ इन दोनों हाउसिंग के अंदर होगा। तो आप इसको कॉलम भी बोल सकते हैं और हाउसिंग भी बोल सकते हैं। ऊपर होती है एक सपोर्ट, जिसको हम बोलते हैं अवर आर्म सपोर्ट, जो इन दोनों हाउसिंग को सपोर्ट करती है। इनके बीच में होता है क्रॉस रेल। क्रॉस रेल के ऊपर हमारा टूल पोस्ट लगी होती हैं, इनको हम वर्टिकल टूल पोस्ट बोलते हैं। क्रॉस रेल क्या है, इसके ऊपर जो ये टूल पोस्ट होती हैं, टूल पोस्ट क्या होती हैं, जो हमारे सिंगल पॉइंट कटिंग टूल को होल्ड करेंगी, उसको हम टूल पोस्ट बोलेंगे। तो इसके ऊपर दो या दो से ज्यादा भी टूल पोस्ट हो सकती हैं। अब जो ये टूल पोस्ट हैं, इस क्रॉस रेल के ऊपर स्लाइड कर सकती हैं, लेफ्ट की तरफ जा सकती हैं, राइट की तरफ जा सकती हैं। तो इसलिए इसको क्रॉस रेल बोलते हैं। ये इस तरह से और इस तरह से मूव कर सकती है, लेफ्ट और राइट की तरफ। ये जो टूल पोस्ट हैं, इनको हम नीचे भी थोड़ा थोड़ा स्लाइड कर सकते हैं। इसी तरह से इन हाउसिंग के ऊपर हमारी गाइड वेज होती हैं, यहाँ पर भी टूल पोस्ट लगी होती हैं और ये टूल पोस्ट ऊपर और नीचे जा सकती हैं और थोड़ी थोड़ी आगे की तरफ अंदर की तरफ हम इनको स्लाइड भी कर सकते हैं एक हैंडल की हेल्प से। तो ये हमारी चारों हैं टूल पोस्ट जिनके ऊपर सिंगल पॉइंट कटिंग टूल होल्ड होता है। यह है स्लाइड टूल पोस्ट। बेड के ऊपर होती है टेबल। टेबल हमारी मूव करती है बेड के ऊपर। जैसे शेपर मशीन के अंदर क्या था, टूल हमारा मूव करता था वर्कपीस के ऊपर, लेकिन प्लेनर के अंदर क्या होता है, टूल हमारा रहता है फिक्स और जो हमारी टेबल है वो वर्कपीस को लेकर मूव करती है। तो इन दोनों में मेन डिफरेंस है शेपर और प्लेनर के बीच में कि शेपर में हमारा टूल मूव करता है और मटेरियल को रिमूव करता है, लेकिन प्लेनर मशीन के अंदर हमारी टेबल मूव करती है वर्कपीस को लेकर और हमारा टूल फिक्स रहता है। तो इस तरह से इसमें मटेरियल रिमूव होता है। इसके ऊपर होता है वर्कपीस जिससे हमें मटेरियल को रिमूव करना है। ये तो है इसका एक तरह का बेसिक व्यू। हम इसका एक साइड व्यू देखते हैं ताकि हम अच्छे से समझ सकें कि प्लेनर मशीन किन किन पार्ट्स की बनी होती है। तो साइड व्यू के अंदर देखते हैं, यह है टेबल जो आगे और पीछे की तरफ मूव करेगी। इसके दोनों तरफ है हाउसिंग जो हमने कॉलम भी बोल सकते हैं इनको। टेबल के नीचे होता है बेड, तो हमने इसमें बेड नहीं दिखाया, टेबल और ये हाउसिंग है। ऊपर है आवर आर्म सपोर्ट जो इन दोनों को सपोर्ट करेगी और बीच में है क्रॉस रेल। क्रॉस रेल के ऊपर हमारी होती है टूल पोस्ट और इस हाउसिंग के ऊपर भी है हमारी दो ये टूल पोस्ट। तो टूल पोस्ट क्या है, ये हमारी सिंगल पॉइंट कटिंग टूल को होल्ड करती हैं। तो ये दो भी हो सकती हैं छोटी मशीनों में और ज्यादा बड़ी मशीन के अंदर ये दो या दो से ज्यादा भी हो सकती हैं। ये है हमारा सिंगल पॉइंट कटिंग टूल जो हम इसके अंदर यूज करेंगे। तो इसके अंदर होगा क्या, इसके अंदर हमारा जो टेबल है वो मूव करेगा आगे और पीछे की तरफ। ये सिंगल पॉइंट कटिंग टूल हमारे एक जगह पे फिक्स रहेंगे, हम इनको एक जगह पे फिक्स कर देंगे। हम किसी का भी यूज कर सकते हैं, वर्टिकल जो टूल पोस्ट हैं उनका यूज कर सकते हैं या ये वाले जो टूल पोस्ट हैं इनका हम यूज कर सकते हैं अकॉर्डिंग टू रिक्वायरमेंट जो हमें मटेरियल रिमूव करना है। तो इसके अंदर हमारा टेबल के ऊपर वर्कपीस होता है और टेबल हमारा मूव करता है वर्कपीस को लेकर आगे और पीछे। देखते हैं कैसे। जो टेबल है वो आगे और पीछे की तरफ हमारा मूव करता है और जो हमारी ये स्लाइड्स हैं ये हम अकॉर्डिंग टू रिक्वायरमेंट इनको फिक्स कर लेते हैं। तो इस तरह से हम किसी को भी अकॉर्डिंग टू रिक्वायरमेंट इन टूल पोस्ट को सेट कर सकते हैं, लेकिन जो मूवमेंट होगी वो सिर्फ टेबल की होगी जब हम मटेरियल को रिमूव करेंगे। तो अब इसको हम देख लेते हैं, जो प्लानर मैकेनिज्म है वो कैसे होता है। हमारे पास एक टेबल है, उसके ऊपर वर्कपीस है और होता है हमारे पास सिंगल पॉइंट कटिंग टूल। ये है सिंगल पॉइंट कटिंग टूल। अब क्या होगा, जो ये सिंगल पॉइंट कटिंग टूल है ये हमारा फिक्स रहेगा, लेकिन जो टेबल है वो हमारा आगे और पीछे की तरफ मूव करेगा। जिस तरह से शेपर मशीन के अंदर हमारा टूल मूव करता था आगे और पीछे, इसके अंदर हमारा टेबल मूव करेगा आगे और पीछे वर्कपीस को लेकर, तो मटेरियल वर्कपीस से रिमूव होगा। अब हम समझते हैं कि जो प्लेनर मैकेनिज्म है इसके अंदर ड्राइविंग मैकेनिज्म कौन सा हम और कैसे यूज करते हैं। तो समझते हैं हम ड्राइविंग मैकेनिज्म ऑफ प्लेनर मशीन। जो हमारा ड्राइविंग मैकेनिज्म है वो हमारे जो प्लेनर मशीन की टेबल को कैसे आगे और पीछे की तरफ मूव करता है, उस ड्राइविंग मैकेनिज्म को हम समझेंगे। तो सबसे पहले हम उसके पार्ट्स को समझ लेते हैं जो ड्राइविंग मैकेनिज्म है। तो हमारे पास एक होती है काउंटर शाफ्ट, इसको काउंटर शाफ्ट बोलते हैं। इसके एक तरफ पुलीज का सेट है, ये दो पुली छोटी हैं और दो पुलिस बड़ी हैं, और दूसरी तरफ दो और पुली हैं जो इसको बैलेंस करेंगी, तो इसको काउंटर शाफ्ट बोलते हैं। नीचे भी एक शाफ्ट होती है जो हमारी टेबल से कनेक्ट होती है। इस शाफ्ट के ऊपर भी 2 बड़ी पुलीज हैं और 2 छोटी पुलीज हैं। जो हमारी ये ब्लूइश कलर में है इनको हम फास्ट पुलीज बोलते हैं। फास्ट पुली क्या होती है? जो हमारी शाफ्ट के साथ कनेक्टेड रहती है। अगर ये घूमेगी तो शाफ्ट भी रोटेट करेगी। और जो ये दूसरी हैं, ये जो दूसरे कलर में है, ये हमारी लूज पुली है। लूज पुली क्या होती हैं? ये शाफ्ट के साथ कनेक्टेड नहीं होती, तो ये शाफ्ट के ऊपर ही रोटेट करती रहती हैं, तो इनको लूज पुली बोलते हैं। तो हम ड्राइविंग मैकेनिज्म यूज करते हैं बेल्ट और पुलिस का। इसमें हम 2 मैकेनिज्म इकट्ठे यूज करते हैं। एक तो है क्रॉस बेल्ट ड्राइव। क्रॉस बेल्ट ड्राइव आप समझते होंगे कि अगर हम इसकी रोटेशन को उल्टा कर दें तो हमें क्रॉस बेल्ट यहाँ पे लगानी पड़ेगी। अगर ये क्लॉकवाइज रोटेट करेगी तो ये पुली एंटी क्लॉकवाइज रोटेट करेगी। और जो दूसरा मैकेनिज्म है वो है ओपन बेल्ट ड्राइव। ओपन बेल्ट ड्राइव में क्या है? हमारी रोटेशन सेम रहती है। ये पुली जैसे रोटेट करेगी वैसे ही ये पुली रोटेट करेगी। तो इसको हम इस मैकेनिज्म को अच्छी तरह से समझते हैं। देखिए, ऊपर ये हमारी छोटी पुली है और नीचे हमारी बड़ी पुली है। जब हमारा कटिंग स्ट्रोक होगा तो हम क्रॉस बेल्ट ड्राइव का यूज करेंगे, क्योंकि जो ये छोटी पुली है इसके रोटेशन ज्यादा होंगे और इस बड़ी पुली के रोटेशन कम होंगे। तो जो हमारी टेबल है आराम से मूव करेगी। तो कटिंग स्ट्रोक में हमें आराम आराम से टेबल को मूव करना है, तो वहां हम क्रॉस बेल्ट का यूज करते हैं। लेकिन जो रिटर्न स्ट्रोक है उसके अंदर हम इस ओपन बेल्ट का यूज करते हैं। अब देखते हैं कि हम इनकी मूवमेंट को कैसे कंट्रोल करते हैं। यहाँ पे हमारे पास लगे होते हैं ट्रिप डॉग्स। इनको हम ट्रिप डॉग्स बोलते हैं, जो इन बेल्ट्स को मूव करते हैं लेफ्ट या राइट की तरफ। जब ये कटिंग एक्शन हमारा खत्म होता है तो ये ट्रिप डॉग हमारा लेफ्ट की तरफ चलेगा और इस क्रॉस बेल्ट को हमारी इस लूज पुली के ऊपर गिरा देगा। अब जब ये लूज पुली के ऊपर गिरेगी तो हमारी शाफ्ट काम करना बंद कर देगी। लेकिन जैसे ही ये ट्रिप डॉग इस क्रॉस बेल्ट मैकेनिज्म को इस लूज पुली पे गिराएगा, ये जो ओपन बेल्ट मैकेनिज्म है इस लूज पुली से इस फास्ट पुली पे आ जाएगा, तो ये वर्किंग में आ जाएगा। तो उसी टाइम हमारी जो टेबल की मूवमेंट है वो रिवर्स हो जाएगी। तो ये दोनों मैकेनिज्म हम यूज करते हैं। आप इसको समझ गए होंगे, देख लीजिए। ये हमारा कनेक्ट है आगे शाफ्ट पिनियन के साथ, तो ये रोटेट करेगी तो पिनियन रोटेट करेगा, और पिनियन हमारा कनेक्ट होता है टेबल के नीचे लगे रैक के साथ। तो रैक की मूवमेंट पिनियन के हेल्प से इस टेबल को मिलेगी और टेबल हमारा मूव करेगा। तो इसका एक्शन हम समझ लेते हैं एक बार। जब ये क्रॉस बेल्ट ड्राइव अपना कटिंग एक्शन पूरा कर लेगी तो ट्रिप डॉग मूव करेगा और हमारी बेल्ट को शिफ्ट कर देगा इस पुली के ऊपर। तो हमारा अब ये शाफ्ट काम करना बंद कर देगी। लेकिन तभी जब ये ट्रिप डॉग इधर आएगा तो ये भी हमारी जो बेल्ट है वो शिफ्ट हो जाएगी इस तरफ यहाँ पे। तो क्या होगा, इसका जो मोशन है उल्टा हो जाएगा, रिवर्स हो जाएगा और टेबल हमारी रिटर्न हो जाएगी और जल्दी से जल्दी वापस अपनी पोजीशन पे पहुंच जाएगी। तो इस तरह से ये काम करता है। इसको और अच्छी तरह से समझते हैं। हमारे पास इस तरह की क्रॉस बेल्ट है। क्रॉस बेल्ट ये है ओपन बेल्ट ड्राइव, जो हमारी कनेक्टेड है पिनियन और रैक के साथ, इस पिनियन और रैक के साथ। अब जब ये क्रॉस बेल्ट एक्ट करेगी तो हमारा फॉरवर्ड स्ट्रोक होगा, मींस कटिंग स्ट्रोक होगा, और जब ये एक्ट करेगी तो हमारा रिटर्न स्ट्रोक होगा। तो कैसे काम करेगा? तो इस तरह से हमारा रैक और पिनियन काम करेगा और जो ट्रिप डॉग्स हैं वो अपना शिफ्ट करते रहेंगे बेल्ट को अकॉर्डिंग टू मोशन। तो इस तरह से हमारा ड्राइविंग मैकेनिज्म ऑफ प्लेनर मशीन काम करता है। थैंक यू ये वीडियो देखने के लिए। और ज्यादा अपडेटेड वीडियोस के लिए आप मेरे चैनल लर्न एंड ग्रो पे मुझे सब्सक्राइब कर सकते हैं। थैंक यू।